On my birthday, my parents humiliated me in front of 35 relatives, handed me a $121,000 bill, and fired me. They thought they won, but I'm not done yet. I turned 32 yesterday. The day started with a text from my mom. Family dinner at 6. Don't be late, dress nice. No happy birthday, but that was fine. My family's not big on texting sentiments. We're more the show up and celebrate in person type. A family dinner meant they remembered. That's what mattered. At least that's what I told myself. I work for the family construction business. Have since I was 16. Started as grunt labor. Worked my way to project manager. My younger brother Hudson runs sales. My sister Claudia does the books. Dad's the CEO. Mom's the CFO. It's always been our legacy, except I'm the only one who actually builds anything. I showed up at 5:50 with a bottle of wine. The dining room was packed. Aunts, uncles, cousins I hadn't seen in years. 35 people crammed around tables that had been pushed together. Everyone went quiet when I walked in. Hudson smirked from his seat. Claudia wouldn't make eye contact. There he is, Dad announced, standing with a glass already in hand. The birthday boy. Scattered applause. Forced smiles. Mom gestured to an empty chair at the head table like I was being honored. I sat down, still clueless. Dinner was tense. People kept glancing at me, whispering. Finally, dessert arrived. A massive cake with Happy Birthday Jake in blue frosting. Before I could even process it, Dad stood again, tapping his glass for silence. Before we sing, there's something important we need to address. My stomach dropped. He pulled out a folder, the kind lawyers use, slid it across the table to me. Jake, we've done an audit of the business finances. Turns out there's been some significant discrepancies in project budgets you managed. My hands went numb. What are you talking about? Open it, Mom said coldly. I opened the folder. Page after page of highlighted expenses, inflated numbers, projects I'd overseen going back 5 years. The final page showed a total $121,350 in alleged cost overruns and mismanagement. This is insane, I stammered. These numbers are fabricated. Half these projects came in under budget. Dad's voice boomed across the room. We have the receipts, Jake. You've been either incompetent or stealing. Either way, you're liable. Hudson leaned back, arms crossed, loving every second. The room was dead silent, except for someone's kid crying in the corner. You're firing me? On my birthday? In front of everyone? We're giving you a choice, Mom said, her tone sharp as glass. Pay back the $121,000 or we press charges for embezzlement. Claudia finally spoke, her voice small. We voted, Jake. It was unanimous. I looked around the table. 35 faces staring back, some pitying, most just uncomfortable. But this was their theater. They'd invited everyone to watch me get destroyed. I stood slowly, leaving the folder on the table. You actually think I'm going to just accept this? Dad's jaw tightened. The evidence is clear. You have 2 weeks to arrange payment, or we go to the authorities. I laughed. Not a funny laugh. The kind that makes people nervous. You know what? Keep the folder, I'll be in touch. I grabbed my coat and walked out. The drive home was a blur, but by the time I pulled into my driveway, the shock had burned off and clarity set in. They wanted to humiliate me, frame me, erase me from the family business I'd built with my own hands. What they didn't know was that I'd been keeping my own records. Every project, every expense, every email I'd learned years ago to CYA in this family. I spent all night organizing files that night. Emails showing Dad approving budget increases, texts from Hudson inflating supplier costs to skim off the top, bank statements proving Claudia had been funneling company money into a side account. By morning, I had everything. Not just proof of my innocence, proof of their crimes. I called a lawyer, a real one, not the family friend who rubber stamps Dad's schemes. When I showed him the evidence, his eyes went wide. This is fraud, embezzlement, tax evasion, all 3 of them. How long until we can move? I asked. He smiled. I can file by end of week. They thought humiliating me meant they'd won. They thought I'd panic over a debt I never owed. Instead, I was assembling the proof that would collapse everything they built on lies. Their victory lap was just the starting gun. 3 weeks later, federal agents raided the business at dawn. Dad kept calling about loyalty. I let it ring. By noon, all 3 were in cuffs, and the evening news even had their mugshots. Marcus texted, "You destroyed the family." I answered, "You did that at my birthday dinner," and blocked him. The company went to auction. I bought it for pennies on the dollar, rebuilt it under a new name, and staffed it with people who actually knew how to build things. Last week, Dad mailed me a letter from prison asking for commissary money. I just framed it next to the birthday cake photo.